Coming up, the stars of the PBA travel to Tokyo to meet their Japanese counterparts in one of the sport's most prestigious events, the Round 1 Japan Cup. Welcome to Minami Suna in Tokyo, Japan for the season-ending event of the 2012-13 PBA Tour, the Round 1 Japan Cup. Hello again, everybody. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer and '89 Japan Cup winner, Randy Peterson. Randy, you competed here, and now we get to call the Japan Cup.
Yeah, and 24 years has gone by really fast. This was one of my favorite events to compete in. The fans in Japan are some of the greatest bowling fans in the world, and I really miss competing in this event.
Round of 8 matches from Tokyo set to begin. 4 Americans, 1 Finn, and 3 Japanese players will do battle in head-to-head matches. Taking a look at round of 16 winners, Sean Rash advances against Horie, and the twin Finn Asku Palermo against Yuya Kato.
And you can see Horie actually defeated Kitaoka 3-1. I competed against Kitaoka way back when.
The other side of the bracket coming out of the round of 16, EJ Tackett in his first international appearance will tackle 3-time Japan Cup winner Tommy Jones and Barnes and Watanabe in the other quarter. And that unique sound, Randy, indicating the beginning of play.
The traditional whistle blowing to start the match, only in Japan.
Shinichi Horie out of Kanagawa, Japan. A very unique style as we begin our first round of 8 match. Head-to-head, single game. Winner advances. Two-pin.
Yeah, and unique style, I think, is an understatement when looking at Horie's style. But you know, there's a lot on the line for these Japanese professionals that made it to the round of 8. As you take a look at how much money is involved, but it's not the money. It's the pride of their country. It's been a long time since a JPBA bowler has won the Japan Cup. 1988, the last JPBA bowler to win this event, Takeo Sakai. So a lot on the line if you're a Japanese professional bowler bowling in the Japan Cup.
And now Sean Rash will step up this round of 8 matchup. Winner advances to the round of 4. Rash, the reigning PBA player of the year, and his last opportunity to earn consideration to go back-to-back. Opening shot here in the round of 8 against Horie. That ball comes up high, and it's a 4-7 leave.
Yeah, and it could have been a lot worse as Sean cuts through the nose, tripping the 6-pin late. You want to talk about a contrast in styles as you take a look at the prototypical power player that we have stateside in Sean Rash. A lot of power in that game. Horie, the traditional Japanese style.
And the concluding event of the 2013 World Series of Bowling Tour 5 was the World Bowling Tour Finals, where Sean Rash put a nice finish. Not a PBA title, Randy, but for wife Sarah and daughter Kaylee, a nice win for Rash nonetheless.
Yeah, it may not count as a title, MJ, but it's a win. It's a victory, and something that Sean has struggled with at the World Series of Bowling, but not on this day. Great victory for Sean and a great victory for his family.
Interesting to note, the last title for Rash coming on the World Bowling Tour with a win in Bangkok, Thailand in October of 2013. Rash now continues second frame in this round of 8 matchup. Light hit and a 7-pin remains.
A lot on the line for Sean Rash, not only in this match but in this tournament. As you take a look at the road that he traveled to get here, taking out 2 great players from the United States, Josh Blanchard and Ronnie Russell.
And Masami Abe, one of 2 ladies in the round of 64, as Rash cleans up in the second frame. The Round 1 Japan Cup consists of 176 players who bowled 10 games of qualifying apiece. The top 64 by score advanced to a match play round. Head-to-head, best of 5 games through rounds of 64, 32, and 16 have produced this round of 8. Now Shinichi Horie continues. And a ring 10.
And you got a perfect look at the unusual style. Very unique. The way he starts, feet are spread wide apart, comes around the side of the ball at release. And that's the ingredients that make up a down and in type of shot, which is very traditional Japanese bowling.
Highest previous finish coming, top 39 finish at the 2013 Tokai Open. Clips the left side of the 10 pin. It's a clean frame for Shinichi Horie. Lane conditions here, 41 feet in length, Randy.
41 feet, and the players all said the same thing, that the pattern was very conducive to high scores, and we saw a lot of nice scores throughout this event. But you could also see that it's very conducive because of the length of the oil pattern, that it allows the stylish Japanese form to go down and in, to play that straighter type of shot.
That ball comes up high, and a 6'10". We're also competing on an HPL lane surface, which also adds to that equation.
Yeah, because it's a high friction surface, Mike J. And there, again, you see that little bent elbow at the bottom of the swing. Now, normally we see that in power players. Horie is not a power player, but getting back to the oil pattern, at 41 feet of length, it's long enough to where these players can keep the ball in front of them and go straighter. For years, this tournament has been dominated by the power and the speed of the Americans.
Sean Rash, over $220,000 in this 2012-13 season, the season-ending Round 1 Japan Cup, now toes the line in the 3rd frame.
I'm not real good at math, Mike, but that seems like a lot of money.
Good bankroll for the PBA Player of the Year, and a great shot there, straight back for 10.
I think Sean Rash's game has become so well-rounded, and that's why he's your reigning Player of the Year, and that's why his hat is in the game again to repeat those honors. Sean Rash has learned to go straight when he has to go straight. Even with the high rev rate, you can see that he's able to keep the ball on line.
Rash up in the 4th frame, says he's in sync and has been sharp coming to the end of this season, and his spares have been solid. 4th frame. And a double. The 9-pin the last to fall late.
Nice break there. Good shot, though. This should have been 10 in the pit. Ball drifts just a hair high. Watch this. Ball goes right past the 9-pin and gets a nice break to bump the 9 out.
Horie now up on the 4th frame, working on the spare, and another ring 10.
Yeah, he needs to start finding a way to strike here pretty quick. Otherwise, he's going to be in trouble with Sean Rash doubling, as you see his road to the final 8. Took out Kitaoka in the round of 16, but he also beat Hall of Famer Parker Bone III in the round of 32.
Bone, 4-time winner of this event. Cross lane now for the spare. And a conversion for Shinichi Horie. Horie cleans up, trails by 13 pins as we enter the 5th frame, round of 8, Round 1 Japan Cup. Shinichi Horie, best previous finish, the 2013 Tokai Open, where he finished 39th, going up against the PBA Player of the Year in this round of 8, 5th frame. Interesting timing move where he moves the ball out and back prior to initiating the shot.
I think the most interesting thing about his game is the first 3 steps. His feet couldn't be any farther apart, and then all of a sudden he kind of falls back into that walking the tightrope with the last couple of steps. It's a very unique start. The other thing is where his hand is at release. It's a lot more on the side of the ball than any top U.S. professional you'll see.
Rash with a lead and a double, trying to increase, and that's a perfect strike for Sean Rash. And a turkey, 3 strikes in a row.
Right now, Sean Rash just imposing his will on Horie. The top dog from the U.S. is all over Horie halfway through this match, and he's not going to let up anytime soon.
Chance for Rash here to really take command. 6th frame. Come on. No. Little flat 10. Difference between a flat 10 and a ring 10 is that 6-pin.
Yeah, the 6-pin, when it goes to the sidewall and lays in the right gutter like that, that's a flat 10. When it goes up and around, that's a ringing 10.
Oh, no. Open frame, major mental error.
This isn't the first time that Sean Rash has missed single pin spares in the middle of the match, and most of the time it's come back to haunt him. Stay with us and let's see if Sean Rash can get it back together mentally and somehow right the ship.
Round 1 Japan Cup rolls on at Minami Suna in Tokyo. Concluding event of the 2012-13 PBA Tour season. Now, Shinichi Horie in the 6th frame on a strike, trying to take advantage of the open frame. Rash missing the 10-pin in the 6th. And a 3-6-10. Looked a bit slow.
MJ, I don't know if it was too slow. He made a ball change, and this ball hooks more and cuts right through the nose. But in any event, he's not able to take advantage of two things. One, the open frame by Sean Rash, and two, he was working on a strike.
Horie trying to stay clean. And picks it up on the outside. 3-6-10 converted.
Yeah, normally you would cover the 3, the 6, and the 10 on the right side. The bowling ball would cover all 3 pins. Very fortunate. I think that was a mistake, quite honestly, a pulled shot, but he was lucky enough to make the 3-6-10 on the left side of the 3-pin.
Japanese player has not won this event since 1988, and Horie trying to come from a deficit to stay alive here in the Round 1 Japan Cup. 7th frame. And a flat 10 once again.
Using 2 different bowling balls, trying to figure out a way to get the flat 10 out and to throw strikes. Quite honestly, he's got 1 strike through 7 frames. You go back to the open frame by Sean Rash in the 6th. If he converts the 10-pin there, you got to ask yourself, what chance does Horie have of beating a monster like Sean Rash? You look at some of Horie's stats: no 300 games, no 800 series, no JPBA titles.
But a covered 10-pin for Horie in the 7th frame, and he remains clean without a double. Opening round of 8 match. Now Sean Rash, who picked up a couple of titles on the World Bowling Tour, trying to add a Japan Cup to his trophy case. After the open frame, now works in the 7th frame. He's up 11 pins. Winner advances to the round of 4. And recovery. 6 clips the 10. Strike for Rash.
And I think the next shot here on the left lane is going to be a very telling shot for Sean Rash and where he's at mentally, and has he recovered from that open frame. It's his opponent, quite honestly, is making it very easy for him because he's not applying any pressure whatsoever.
Chance to double now for Rash in the 8th frame. And that's a high flush hit. 10 back. Double for Rash, increasing the lead to 21.
Well, I think that Sean Rash has really come a long way mentally. He just threw 2 really nice shots after the miscue open frame in the 6th. He backs it up with back-to-back strikes, 7th and 8th frame.
Shinichi Horie turned pro back in 2004. Trying to put some strikes together. And he gets the first.
It's his 2nd strike of the game. He made a ball change on this right lane and looks like he's moved left. The question is, can he throw a double? Can he put any pressure on Sean Rash whatsoever? He can strike out for a max score of 225. Sean Rash can still shoot 240.
Foundation frame, the unique style of Shinichi Horie. Kind of stepped out of that one a bit, but the ball delivers and a double.
You know, these are the kind of shots that you watch players throw when they kind of feel like they're out of the match. Their swing loosens up a little bit. They come out and they throw a couple of really nice strikes. It's the 8th and 9th frame. This is just about over. Sean Rash, if he throws a strike in the 9th and 10th, he's going to advance.
Rash and his foundation on a double. Ball in hand, and his fate is in own hands. And he gets the strike. So Turkey now 3 in a row for Rash.
And anytime you see the 6 pin, the second pin from the right, go to the sidewall and bash the 10 out like that, that's a right-hander's best friend.
So now Rash up 10th frame. Ball in hand controls his destiny. A strike will advance him. Oh, and we're going to get a balk and a reset and a double clutch in a tight situation. We've seen this before.
And, Mike, you just have to ask yourself, what is Sean Rash thinking mentally right now with so much on the line? Player of the Year implications. He needs a strike to advance. He's going up against a JPBA bowler who's never won a title before.
10th frame. And a light hit. Oh, 10 pin does not go. Roller misses.
Pretty good shot there. Sean Rash is on the same lane that he whiffed a 10 pin on in the 6th frame, but this is a good shot. Problem is he's let Horie back in the game. If Sean converts here and strikes on his fill shot, Horie needs to throw all 3 in the 10th to tie.
Smacks the middle of the 10 pin that time. Rash can strike for 225 and force Horie to strike out in the 10th, and we'd go into a sudden death roll-off.
If he would have made the 10 pin in the 6th frame, we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd be in commercial break right now.
So fill ball for Rash for 2 1/4.
Oh my.
Oh, weird hit. Leaves the 4 pin, 224, and the door cracks open for Horie.
That was just an awful break. He shreds the rack to leave some wicked messenger 4 pin. Look how disgusted Sean Rash is. He's walking off. He's like, this is how I'm going to lose? Watch this hit in the pin action. That's incredible. Right in front of the 4 pin.
So the door opens for Horie, 10th frame, 3 strikes to claim it. And the first one kicks out the 10.
Beautiful shot here, kind of the reminiscent of the shot that Sean Rash threw the last time on that right lane where the 6 cuts the 10 out. Boy, if you're Sean Rash right now, you've got to be sick to your stomach knowing that you could possibly lose. Watching your opponent here in the 10th frame, he needs 2 more strikes, and Sean Rash's tournament is over.
Shinichi Horie delivers. Now 1 strike away from beating the reigning PBA Player of the Year and advancing Japan's hopes to reclaim the Japan Cup.
I mean, it's incredible. He had 1 strike through 7 frames. Now he's got a 4-bagger, 1 more strike. That's all she wrote.
Missed single pin and an awful break in the 10th frame, and all Rash can do is sit and watch Shinichi Horie. 1 strike to advance to the semifinal. 10th frame, fill ball.
I promise you this is the biggest shot of his JPBA career.
And he gets it. Strike for Horie, 225, 224 victor. He will move on.
3 clutch strikes for Horie seals the deal.
Coming up next, 2 more JPBA versus PBA clashes in the round of 8.